Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my video analysis here for both gold and silver. My name is JR. Wishing everyone a happy holidays. I hope everyone enjoyed their holidays, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to a brand new year here for 2014. I'm sorry, for here for 2015. We'll get to the analysis here. Before I do that, I do want to mention that tomorrow I'll do my last video of the year. It's going to be a very detailed video. Most likely it will surpass 30 to 35, maybe even 40 minutes. I'm going to cover gold, silver, Dow Jones, currencies like the Australian dollar, the euro, okay? I'm also going to cover the Russian ruble. And I'm going to do a comparison, the ruble versus gold, as well as the US dollar. So again, very detailed video. The analysis, it's going to extend probably, and I'll also do my predictions here for my favorite currency pairs for 2015. And if you guys trade the Forex market, then you might get some solid ideas from my video tomorrow. But I will say that the precious metals section of the video will be in the front of the video. So if you have no intentions, if you have no care whatsoever about currencies or anything else besides gold and silver, you can probably just watch the first 10-15 minutes, and that should do it for you. All right. Again, hope everyone had a phenomenal week, and let's get to it, right? Very short video here. I'm just going to cover the weekly charts and the monthly charts and the monthly, weekly, and daily charts for this video. Gold, strong move this morning, okay? And currently building an engulfing candle here. We've tested this 20-day moving average here quite a few times. The more times you test resistance, the more likely it is for that resistance to be broken. So this is really our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempt to surpass this 20-day moving average. Let's see if it happens now. Found some support here in my zone. I believe this was my zone here. Okay. As well as the Bollinger Band. Stochastics are starting to move to the upside. So again, the market, at least on the monthly chart, which is a very long-term time frame, is looking positive, right? But we definitely do need to end the month. Tomorrow is the last day of the month, is the last day of the year. So we definitely do need to end this year above the 1200 range. If we can end above the 1200 range, maybe above the 1205 range, that'll be a nice engulfing candle. That might be an indication that the market is going to move higher. On the weekly chart, I mentioned on my previous video here, this was your trend. I also mentioned on my video that you might find some resistance in this zone, but I also mentioned that I don't like these zones once if they're above a trend line. So because this zone is above this trend line, I don't like it. And why? Because you had enough buyers to break this trend line, so you might have enough buyers to break through my zone. But I also mentioned that these zones usually hold even though this trend line. This is just really for trading purposes. You have to follow the rules, and the rules is once you break this trend, you do not take the zone, right? But the zone worked out anyway. I mean, if you would have taken this trade, you would have easily made 2, possibly even 3 to 1 on that trade, right? My zones don't play around. This is your daily chart for gold. Really what we saw here within the last couple of days, within the holidays, you saw a false breakout, or what looks to be a false breakout. You had a big move to the downside, and now it looks like we're seeing a false breakdown. So this looks to be the zone, right, from here to here. This was a false breakdown. This was a false breakout. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to see if this market is going to go above 1230 or if it's going to go below 1170. If it goes above 1230, then I think you can easily say that we're going to test the $1,300 level. If it goes below this level, I think we can easily say that we're going to test the low 1100 level, right? So at this point, really just flat. But good news is that we finally broke through this trend line. Again, we did see that false breakout. We came below that trend line, and we broke the trend line again today. So let's see what happens today. I mean, today the market is up more than 25 bucks, which is a really good day today, okay? That's gold. Let's look at silver. Okay, silver on the, let's start from the monthly again on silver, also building a very nice bullish engulfing candles. This is also an outside day. If we can finish this candle green tomorrow, then that means that's an outside bullish day, which suggests that the market is going to continue to go higher. And the stochastics are also pointing higher, right? And this 20-day moving average has been tested quite a few times. So it looks like, at least from this bullish, from this chart, on this monthly chart, it looks like we, within the next month or two, we should be able to test the 1850 range, maybe the 1820 range, before this market decides what it's going to do. But again, very bullish engulfing candle here, an outside bullish candle here. And the reason why I highlighted these other candles is because in the past, these candles haven't really worked much, right? These engulfing candles suggest higher prices, and we really haven't seen that. We'll see if this time around is going to be different. We are below production costs, so eventually these bullish candles will start signaling the right price action, right? That's your monthly. This is your weekly. Like I said, this was your zone. But again, you broke through this line, so I didn't like it. Again, the zone ended up working anyway. And now we did not fall below this line like we did on gold, but gold is breaking through that line anyway. But on silver, we actually found support. This resistance now became support. We found some support, and now it looks like we're moving higher on the weekly chart. But I do want to point out the stochastics are looking like they're looking to change their mind, and they're looking to go down. We'll see what happens, but ideally, like I've said 1,000 times, what we want to see is a move above the 20-day moving average, come back, test the 20-day moving average, and go higher. But we have to wait and see. On the daily chart, it did that, right? It came above the 20-day moving average, came below. Again, we did this long wick is because of the Swiss referendum. That really is a distortion. It's hard to say. This could be a broadening formation, which is bearish. But again, it's hard to say because this was really emotions. This is just a Swiss referendum. They decided not to go with the gold standard. On Sunday night, the market came down $2. And by the end of the day, by the end of Monday morning, the market was up $2.50. So again, this really looks like emotions more so than any technicals or any fundamentals. So I guess I kind of want to ignore it, but I don't want to ignore it, right? So you could see if this is a valid broadening formation, then what you might see is you might see this market go up, right? You might see this market continue to go higher, test this zone, and then come back down to the low 1400s. I mean, to the low $14, right? So we just have to really wait and see. But again, I kind of don't want to take this too much as a valid signal. But you might want to take some profits as you get to the $18 range anyway. But if you bought down there anyway, just for the heck of it, right? And that's your daily chart. I went over the weekly chart, and yeah, as of right now, really just flat. If you look at this this chart here, really just trading sideways. If we can close above this 1630 range, then I think that might be a signal that we're going to continue to go higher. And that's what it looks like for now. It does look like this was a false breakout, and you saw a big move to the downside. You had really nice support, and now we're breaking above that support. So being that it is the end of the month, end of the year, tomorrow is the last day of the month and the last day of the year, then you can assume that if we have a nice close, then there's still buyers looking. I also want to point out that this year the U.S. Mint has sold a record-breaking amount of silver, so there's serious demand in this market, and I'm very, very excited for 2015. I think the metals are going to finally shine after 3 years of a bear market. Hope you tune into tomorrow's video. Here's the Dow Jones if you want to stick around for that. The Dow Jones having a hard time with this $18,000 threshold. The last time we tested 18,000, we saw a big decline. I think I pointed out a bearish formation that I saw. This was the bearish formation that I saw before. Then I noticed that I kind of drew it wrong. So that's really the formation that you want to see. But I was predicting on my last video, you'll see that this is where I drew the line. But the market ended up going higher, and as I'm doing my analysis, I kind of realized that maybe maybe I did that line wrong. But again, who knows? So if this is still a bearish if this is still a broadening formation, then I do expect this Dow Jones, and trust me, I will be covering this to see what happens. This is on the daily chart. We all know that the monthly chart has a giant bearish and broadening formation, just giant and scary, right? With no volume to back it up. Unreal. And the stochastics are extremely overbought, right? On the daily chart again, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye on this. Take out my video tomorrow. It'll be very detailed. I'll give some calls for the year. And I'm looking at some really nice currencies like the Australian dollar, and a lot of potential here for the euro and the Japanese yen. Of course, the Russian ruble is crashing, so I'm going to cover that as well. Stay tuned for that video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have yourself a great day, and I look forward to a New Year's. Thank you. Bye-bye.